Well, hey, worship family. Hope you're doing great today. This is week 2 of our shelter in place, stay at home order. And man, hope you are doing great. Hope you're doing good. Hope you are and praying that you are staying healthy. You know, that's our prayer. Missy and I have been praying for you all, that you all will stay healthy and safe during this time. Praying that you have all you need during this time to make it through, as we continue to quarantine and to stay, to kind of keep up with the social distancing. Praying that you have everything you need during this time. If at any time that you feel like that you need assistance with anything, please do not hesitate to reach out. We want to know how we can be a blessing, how we can help you in any way. We are here for you, and so we want you to know that. And so also just wanted to let you know, just real quick, that today is the deadline to submit your video for the virtual choir. Wanted to put that out there. Many of you have already submitted yours, and thank you for doing that. But some of you, you're procrastinators like I am. Get those videos in. We want you to be part of this project. Today is the day. Don't delay anymore. We might accept them tomorrow too, but today's the day. We want you to get those videos in by today. It takes a great deal of work to put all of this together on the back end, because we've got to take all the videos, put them all together, mix the audio, line up all of the videos, sync them together, and then create this neat project that's going to launch on Easter Sunday. So it takes a lot of work, and I thank Jake Keenum and his crew, as part of the video crew, for doing this. Alex and just everybody that's going to be behind the scenes making this work. Man, thank you guys so much for all the hard work that they are doing to make this work. I think it's going to be pretty exciting, and I know that you'll want to be a part of it, so don't miss out. The other night I was taking a walk, and I've been doing that more lately, just because we have a little bit of time on our hands, and wanted to share with you just something that the Lord put into my spirit. And as I was walking, and He brought to my mind the moment when Jesus was walking on the water to the disciples. And that was kind of a moment in the life of the disciples when a storm just suddenly appeared on them. They were afraid, they were anxious, they were fearful. And so I wanted to read this passage to you. It's out of Matthew 14. Starts in verse 22, and this is the passage. I want to read this scripture to you, and then I've just got a few thoughts that I want to follow up with on the backside of this. So it says, "Immediately He made the disciples get into the boat and go before Him to the other side, while He dismissed the crowds. And after He had dismissed the crowds, He went up to the mountain by Himself to pray. When evening came, He was there alone, but the boat by this time was a long way from the land, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. And in the 4th watch of the night He came to them, walking on the sea. But when the disciples saw Him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, 'It is a ghost.' And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, 'Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid.' And Peter answered Him, 'Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water.' And He said, 'Come.' So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. And he cried out, 'Lord, save me.' Jesus immediately reached out His hand and took hold of him, saying to him, 'O you of little faith, why did you doubt?' And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. And those in the boat worshipped Him, saying, 'Truly you are the Son of God.'" A few things that stick out to me when I read that passage is this, that, on the Sea of Galilee, it was known that storms would just suddenly appear, that storms would just blow up, kind of just out of the blue. And so it can overwhelm the boats, it can overwhelm the people who were out on the water. And so I'd imagine that when the disciples were getting ready to push off, I imagine the weather was fine, or else they probably wouldn't have pushed off from the shore. They wouldn't have left the shore if the weather had been kind of rough. So I imagine they get out on the water. The seas begin to get a little choppy. They begin to get rough. The wind starts blowing. They begin to start feeling anxiety and fear through that moment. And it just it just suddenly happened. And that's where we find ourselves today. This storm, this all this swirling around the COVID-19, the coronavirus, all this just happened instantly. It just kind of came out of nowhere. And it totally has interrupted how we just do our normal daily routines. And so it's normal to have those fears of kind of worry and anxiety, and all of that just kind of begins to bubble to the surface. But what I want you to understand is exactly in this moment, the very thing that the disciples were fearful of was exactly the thing that Jesus walked on to come to their rescue. And so as they were worried about the winds and the waves, Jesus came walking on the water as a way of just him overcoming that, just as a way of saying, why do you fear? I control every bit of this. And in the same way, Jesus can come in the middle of all that we're swirling around with the coronavirus. Jesus is walking in right in the middle of all of this. He's never left his throne. This is not taking him by surprise. He is fully in control at this very moment. And here's the part I want you to understand is what Peter did when he got out of the boat. As long as he kept his gaze transfixed and on Jesus, it didn't matter how high the winds were. It didn't matter how fast the winds were blowing. As long as he kept his eyes on Jesus, he was able to stay on top of the water. But the minute he began to look at the circumstances that were surrounding him, he took his eyes off of Jesus. He began to sink. So let me encourage you today that no matter how much fear is beginning to creep in, no matter how much uncertainty is out there, let's keep our eyes on him. Keep our eyes on Jesus. Because as long as we do that, as long as this drags out, as long as this goes on, we can put our hope and our trust in him and know that he is always right there with his hand outstretched, ready to pick us up and to carry us through this. And he will. And he's going to do that. And we're all going to come through this probably with increased faith through this. But I want to encourage you to put your hope and your faith and your trust fully in him. Because the Bible does tell us without faith it is impossible to please God. So let's put our hope and our faith in him, because he's in the middle of it. He's never left our side, and he will never leave us nor forsake us through this time. And you can always put that and take that to the bank, because that's the truth. And so just wanted to encourage you with that today. Hope that does kind of help you, because it certainly helps me to put all of this in perspective. And truly do miss you guys. But there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. Tomorrow night we will do our online meeting. We will have that meeting tomorrow night starting at 6:30. I'm going to do another Zoom call. I promise the link will be correct this time. I apologize for last week. It was nice to connect with all of you, but also want to just to let you know that I do apologize that link was incorrect. But it is fixed, and it will be ready for you to click on that and for us to join together and to just to have a good time of fellowship with each other. So looking forward to seeing you. So make time, carve out a little bit of time for that. We'll do a little bit of worship, and then just some time spending together and just trying to stay connected during this time. Just know that I've been making some phone calls to some of you. We'll continue to do that, looking to reach out to you all, making sure you guys are doing good and staying healthy out there, and just checking in. And so just be expecting a phone call from me at some point. Just looking forward to connecting with you. Let us know how we can be praying for you, and let us know if you need anything at all during this time. We are here. That's part of what we're doing now, and with this kind of this new normal in ministry, is that we want to know how we can minister to you. The best way that we can is by you letting us know any needs that you may have. So please reach out to us. We want to know how we can best serve you during this time. Now, quick announcement on Easter Sunday morning, as also in addition to the virtual choir that we're doing, which is pretty exciting, we are going to be doing a early morning Easter hymn sing. Probably I don't think we've nailed down the exact time yet. I think it was going to be around 7 a.m. We were looking at starting this. So it's going to be a time where we just gather around the piano, singing a few hymns to begin the worship for Easter Sunday morning. So 7 a.m. is going to be just a small time, a little short devotion by Pastor Clay is going to give us that. But just want you to gather around, to sing some hymns. Now, this is not the normal worship service. That will begin at 9:30 and 11 o'clock. But if you want to wake up and just sing some beautiful Easter hymns in celebration of our risen Savior, you are welcome to do that. So it's just going to be a kind of around the piano family time where we're going to be doing that, and we want you to be a big part of that. So, and to sing along with us right where you are. So looking forward to that. Just wanted to put that out there for you. But love you guys. Been missing you. Cannot wait to see you again. But we'll see you tomorrow night in our Zoom meeting. So make sure to make plans to join us at 6:30 for that. But until then, praying for you guys. Please let us know any way we can reach out, and we will hopefully see you in person here real soon. God bless.